Next is the Mystic Swordsman line, starting with Mystic Swordsman level 2. He looks weirdly cute, like a chibi dark magician dressing up as a samurai. He's a level 2 Earth warrior monster with 900 attack and 0 defense. You should've went more samurai and less dark magician in your getup, and maybe you'd have some semblance of a defensive stat. His effect is, at the start of the damage step, if this card attacked a face-down defense position monster, destroy that monster. During the end phase, if this card destroyed a monster by battle this turn, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Mystic Swordsman level 4 from your hand or deck. You know who also has that defense destruction effect? Sasuke Samurai, and he came out a year before this guy did. Also, just like Armed Dragon level 5, his level up condition completely contradicts his effect, except in Mystic Swordsman's case, it's 1,000 times worse. Armed Dragon level 5 doesn't have to use its effect. Mystic Swordsman must rely on an attack position monster, or a defense position monster that is already face up in order to level up. And keep in mind, he's got a whopping 900 attack. Next is Mystic Swordsman level 4, who straddles the line between Dark Magician and Wingless Magna Angemon. What the fuck is up with that sword, though? How could you even swing something like that? The idiom double-edged sword exists for a reason, you know. He's a level 4 Earth warrior monster with 1900 attack and 1600 defense. Now that's what I'm talking about. Those are the kind of stats you want a level 4 monster to have. His effect is, cannot be normal summoned, but can be normal set. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacked a face-down defense position monster, destroy that monster. During the end phase, if this card destroyed a monster by battle this turn, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Mystic Swordsman level 6 from your hand or deck. So, same as last time, except he's a Nomi monster. Oh wait, sorry, I can still set him with his 1600 defense. I guess he's more of a guardian monster than anything, and we all know how amazing guardian monsters are. Last in the lineup is Mystic Swordsman level 6. He completely changed his outfit from purple to blue for some reason. Is he going for a more BLS angle now? Also, I don't know if those are just slash shape after images from him swinging those swords, or if those are the actual fucking swords themselves. If it's the second one, then damn, those are unnecessary as hell. Why would you even need to dual wield something of that size? He's a level 6 Earth warrior monster with 2300 attack and 1700 defense. Kinda dropped the ball in the stat department when compared to his previous form, but it could have been much worse. His effect is, cannot be normal summoned, but can be normal set. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacked a face-down defense position monster, destroy that monster. And if you do, you can place it on top of your opponent's deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. So he can essentially bounce what he destroys if you want to, and that's a solid effect, but since people really only set monsters when they're meat shielding, it's not like it's something that's gonna clog their hand if they draw into it. Also, look at that, he's a guardian monster too. You don't even have to go through the hassle of leveling him up. You just have to tribute a monster for one that has a whopping 100 more defense than his previous form, and pray that your opponent doesn't interact with it. And here I was saying the final forms of level monsters were bricky. Next is the Silent Magician line with Silent Magician level 4. Isn't he cute? Look at that little staff and those shoes. He's trying to seem all cool and badass, but he's got that gigantic anime eyes and sparkles like a twampire. He's a level 4, light, spellcaster monster with 1000 attack and defense. His effect is, each time your opponent draws the cards, place 1 spell counter on this card, max 5. This card gains 500 attack for each spell counter on it. During the standby phase of your next turn, after the 5th spell counter is placed on this card, you can send this face-up card with 5 spell counters on it to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Silent Magician level 8 from your hand or deck. Okay, so rather than just surviving once, or even just killing something off, he's gotta wait a perfectly ultimate Great Moth amount of time before he evolves, considering a player ordinarily draws only once per turn. And it takes 3 of those turns for his attack score to even be worth writing home about. Still, it's at least a creative way to level up. And if you're gonna utilize this whole shitty level mechanic, you might as well have a little fun with the concept. I mean, it's worse, but it's interesting. Next is Silent Magician level 8. Our cute little magician has grown up into an extremely lanky woman wait, what? Silent Magician is female? Damn it, that takes away the cuteness of her level 3 form, because now she just looks like a little girl with ordinary hair, rather than a little boy trying to look bishy. I see that she hasn't bothered to replace her staff, though. She's a level 8, light, spellcaster monster with a whopping 3,500 attack and 1,000 defense. Maybe that's why she kept her staff. Collected all those counters as a child, so there's no reason to ditch it just because one of your own size would be more aesthetically pleasing. Her effect is, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by Silent Magician level 4 and could not be special summoned by other ways. Unaffected by your opponent's spell effects. Huh, well that's kind of a downer, considering you could just use Horus the Black Flame Dragon level 6, who actually has a better version of that effect and doesn't require a slow, agonizing evolution process either. Although that attack score is pretty appealing, not gonna lie. Next is the Silent Swordsman line, with Silent Swordsman level 3. Not to be confused with Silent Magician or Mystic Swordsman lines. That's totally Chibi Cloud, by the way. He even looks like he's about to use a limit break. His belt also has his initial on it, just like El Tigre's does. He's a level 3, light, warrior monster with 1,000 attack and defense. So I guess that sword is all for show then, huh? Considering your, sister's dinky little staff is equal to it in power. His effect is, negate your opponent's spell effects that target this card. During your standby phase, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Silent Swordsman level 5 from your hand or deck. You cannot activate this effect the turn this card is summoned or flip face up. Alright, first off, that last sentence is just unnecessary, considering the only way that could possibly be applied was if you summoned him during your draw phase, and I can't think of any cards that could let you do that. His actual effect is pretty damn useless. Spells are at the bottom of the list of cards you want your monster to have targeting protection from, considering most spells that you use in your opponent don't target monsters anyway. Better than Horus's initial form's protection, I guess. Next is Silent Swordsman level 5, who has gone from Chibi Cloud to just Cloud. Hell, there's even clouds in his artwork in case the reference was too subtle. He's a level 5, light, warrior monster with 2,300 attack and 1,000 defense. His effect is, unaffected by your opponent's spell effects. During your next standby phase, after this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Silent Swordsman level 7 from your hand or deck. Wow, just when I thought Silent Magician level 8 was outclassed, Swordsman here just matches her effect without any of the effort. You don't even have to properly level him up to get this effect either. Unfortunately, his level up condition is not much better than hers. You can't just inflict damage with this guy, it's gotta be a direct attack. I mean, it's still more doable than some of the other level monster evolution requirements, but it's still really damn specific. Last in the lineup is Silent Swordsman level 7. Yeah, I see your Buster Sword, pal. That's real neato. What the fuck did you do with your hat, though? Is it a sword now, too? He's a level 7, light, warrior monster with 2,800 attack and 1,000 defense. I just love how his defense value hasn't moved up at all since his first form. That's what happens when you wear stupid trench coats instead of armor. Attack score is real nice, though. His effect is, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by Silent Swordsman level 5 and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Negate all spell effects on the field. Wow, okay, that just got kicked up a notch. Went from protecting himself to hindering you. He's a spell canceller, but you gotta jump through a stupid direct attack hoop to get to him. He's honestly the only level monster that gets worse in their final form. Don't get me wrong, complete negation of card effects is awesome, but Horus level 8 does it right. Horus is like Wander to Silent Swordsman's Screwball.
I only present the
spell negation
path, I don't force you to follow it.
Next is a level support monster, Silent Paladin, who looks like the Bount Mabashi off of Bleach wielding the Chillren from Skyrim. She's a level 4, light, fairy monster with 500 attack and 1,500 defense. those are some really weird stats. Her effect is, when this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 Silent Swordsman level 3 or Silent Magician level 4 from your deck to your hand. So she searches upon her summon for 2 very specific level monsters. I mean, that's pretty cool, I guess. During either player's turn, when a spell card is activated that targets exactly 1 monster you control, and no other cards, you can negate the activation. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. That effect feels super tacked on, like it's only there to vaguely reference the spell-related effects of the silent level monsters. Seriously, 1 monster targeting spell protection that she can only use once is so fucking pointless. If this card is destroyed by battle, or if this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can target 1 light level monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. That's actually some pretty nifty recovery. It's especially useful if you discarded your copy of the high-leveled silent level monsters. By the way, if this card seems way too good for a GXRS support card, that's because it came out in Duelist Pack Rivals of the Pharaoh in 2016. Yeah, you're kind of a little late to start releasing level support, Konami. And we end our monster lineup on a low note with the Ultimate Insect line, starting at Ultimate Insect level 1. Sweet raw, that is an ugly bug. I really hope that meteor thing in the back is its egg and not its booty, because that just makes the whole thing more repulsive. It's a level 1 wind, despite clearly lacking wings, insect monster with 0 attack and defense. Oh, this should be good. Its effect is, while this card is on the field, it is unaffected by the effects of spell cards. During your standby phase, by sending this face-up card to the graveyard, special summon 1 Ultimate Insect level 3 from your hand or deck. You cannot activate this effect to turn this card as normal summon, special summoned, or flip face up.
Oh my, that is, you think that I'm with you? Oh my, that is too good. Well, I mean, it's sad for you, but...
That spell immunity effect, oh my raw, that is hilarious. I know I said quite a few times these first form effects are tacked on, but that has got to be the worst incentive to get someone to use one of them that I have ever seen. Hey, I know this thing has no stats whatsoever, but look at that! It's got spell immunity! You usually have to go through several level monsters to get that far! Oh, and if you're expecting the Ultimate Insect line to get stronger and stronger protection as they evolve, then you are in for a disappointment. Next is Ultimate Insect level 3. Okay, I'm digging that pose. It does make the thing look pretty intimidating, but it's still really gross. Now it looks like a big hairy brain covered in zits. It's a level 3 wind, again, despite having no wings, insect monster with 1400 attack and 900 defense. It's actually not too bad of a stat lineup considering its level. Its effect is, if this card was special summoned by the effect of Ultimate Insect level 1, while it remains on the field, all of your opponent's monsters lose 300 attack. During your standby phase, by sending this face-up card to the graveyard, special summon 1 Ultimate Insect level 5 from your hand or deck. You cannot activate this effect to turn this card as normal summon, special summon, or flip face up. Oh, thank Ra, I don't even have to bother with that absolutely worthless first form. It's too bad its effect suddenly goes in a completely different direction from the card immunity to fucking stat debuffs. And a minuscule 300 at that. Yeah, that's the path this bugger is headed down now. And trust me, that debuff never gets worthwhile. Next is Ultimate Insect level 5. What the hell is this supposed to be? Is that its pupa form? Why the hell does it have gigantic blade legs then? Seriously, what a clusterfuck of a monster. It's like the pre-evo of Inframon, which they completely skipped over in our war game, presumably because of how hideous it is. It's a level 5, once again, a wingless wind, insect monster with 2300 attack and 900 defense. Wow, for as much shit as I give the Ultimate Insect line, it at least knows how to level scale its stats. Its effect is, if this card was special summoned by the effect of Ultimate Insect level 3, while it remains on the field, all your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack. During your standby phase, by sending this face-up card to the graveyard, special summon 1 Ultimate Insect level 7 from your hand or deck. You You cannot activate this effect to turn this card as normal summon, special summoned, or flip face up. Oh, now its debuff increases by a whopping 200 points. You can mutual kill Dark Lucius level 8 up there now. Okay, you wanna know what the fuck the deal with Ultimate Insect is? It's paying homage to the fucking Great Moth monsters. You do realize why that line is so famous, right, Konami? I'll give you a hint. It's not because it's powerful. Then again, maybe you did know that. After all, Ultimate Insect is just as laughably awful as the Great Moth line is, and this disappointment reaches its apex with the next monster. We finally reached the so-called top of the line with Ultimate Insect level 7. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, it actually looks pretty cool and threatening here. Maybe a bit over-designed, but it lives up to its name aesthetically at least. It's a level 7, and this is the entire reason for it, Wind Insect monster with 2600 attack and 1200 defense. Would have bumped that attack score up a couple hundred points, but I guess it doesn't matter once we get to its devastating effect. Its effect is, if this card was special summoned by the effect of Ultimate Insect level 5, while it remains on your field, all your opponent's monsters lose 700 attack and defense. Wow. Just fucking wow. All that work and all you achieve is something you could get with a quarter of that effort with Shadow Spell. With the effort that goes into bringing this bug out, it should have reduced attack to 0, or at least 1500 at the very least. But hey, at least he reduced defense now too. You know, I'd actually say these guys are worse than the Great Moth monsters, because at least they have the meme factor going for them, and received a new spell that can get them out that requires only a little more effort than Shadow Spell. As a bonus, here's the Winged Karibo level monsters, which only share their name with level monsters without all the shitty mechanics. Well, level 10 summoning method isn't much better, but what do you expect out of anime garbage? Also, it's literally just Winged Karibo in the talons of a wannabe Felgrand monster. It's a level 10 monster with 300 attack and 200 defense. Literally only that level for some kind of stupid grandiose factor. Is that Felgrand monster absolutely worthless in terms of battle prowess or something? Its effect is, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned with transcendent wings that cannot be special summoned by other ways. Oh boy, a Nomi Karibo monster. Let's look at this stupid spell card right now. Artwork literally has nothing to do with Karibo. That's just great. Could support literally any fairy monster based on that. It's a quick play spell, and its effect is, send one Winged Karibo you control and 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Winged Karibo level 10 from your hand or deck. Oh yes, I too love going -3 in card advantage to use some gimmicky anime garbage. Still, at least it's a quick play spell, because that's the only way you'll be able to get off the effect of this monster. Back to Winged Karibo level 10. During your opponent's battle phase, you contribute this face-up card. Destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original attack of those destroyed monsters. Wow, that's some fucking OTK damage right there. But with that activation condition, you can clearly see why they made Transcendent Wings a quick play. You gotta get that effect off during your opponent's battle phase, which makes this whole nonsense absolutely worthless unless your opponent is already there. Last is Winged Karibo level 9, which depicts Winged Karibo stealing Breaker the Magical Warrior's armor and zhuzhing it up a bit for himself. Considering how piddly Karibo's hands are, can he even swing those claws? He's a level 9, light, fairy monster with question mark attack and defense. Alright, this should be interesting. Its effect is, during either player's turn, as a chain link 3 or higher, you can special summon this card from your hand. Wow, that is a really specific summoning condition. Sure, it's not that hard to pull off, since I believe the act of summoning him adds its own link to the chain, so you can bring this out from a chain link too. Also, it's got even less to do with the level mechanic than Winged Karibo level 10 does. Good thing too, because you want to distance yourself as far from that mechanic as possible. Spell cards that have been activated are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. Alright, so this is meant to be some bootleg version of Tachyon Transmigration in that you're supposed to summon him in response to someone like MSCing a field spell or some shit. The attack and defense of this card are each equal to the number of spell cards in your opponent's graveyard times 500. You can only control one face-up Wing Kariba level 9. Alright, that Highlander restriction is completely unnecessary since you're not gaining any additional advantage by having more than one of him out. In the spirit of level monsters, his effect contradicts his stat buff, but if you summon him late game, you'll probably have at least a solid 2500 stats on him. With the monsters done, we move on to the spells and traps. First is... Level Up! It appropriately depicts the best level monster line since it's also the best, or rather, only good level support card. It's a normal spell and its effect is, send one face-up level monster you control to the graveyard. Special summon one monster from your hand or deck that is listed in that sent monster's text, ignoring the summoning conditions. Alright, I don't think I have to explain why cheating through the shitty mechanics of these guys is incredible. This is especially devastating when used on the middle stage of monsters like Horus or Armed Dragon, or avoiding having to jump through the hoops of monsters like Dark Lucius or Silent Magician. Max out on this baby for every level deck you make. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this card because it's just utter disappointment from here on out, which is actually fitting for the level monsters. Next is level modulation, and despite its artwork, it has nothing to do with rolling dice. Which is actually a damn shame, because the gamble effect would actually be leaps and bounds better than what it actually does. It's a normal spell, and its effect is, your opponent draws 2 cards, special summon 1 level monster from your graveyard, ignoring the summoning conditions. The monster that was special summoned by this effect cannot attack, nor activate or apply its effect this turn. Wow. Sweet raw, that effect is just so fucking horrible. With all those shitty restrictions, it makes Red Ice Fusion look incredible. Alright, first off, letting your opponent use Pot of Greed is already a terrible, terrible thing for a card to do. And not to mention completely unnecessary considering all the other drawbacks this card has. You get to summon a level monster without caring about level mechanics, just like Level Up. But once you bring it out, it can't do shit that turn. No attacks, no blowing shit up, no leveling up, no nothing. You just gave your opponent +2 for a shitty revival effect. Did Konami completely overestimate the power of level monsters or something? Was that 700 stat debuff from Ultimate Insect level 7 too much for an opponent to handle without giving him the effect of a banned card as compensation? Also, if you think you can bring out something like, say, Horus level 8, I've got even worse news for you. Remember Dark Flat Top? Yeah, it's the same with this card. You can't special summon a Nomi monster from your graveyard without properly summoning it first, even if it tells you that you should just ignore all that nonsense and bring it out anyway. From the deck? Totally fine. From the hand? Yeah, go for it. But from the graveyard? You better hold your damn horses, buddy. Speaking of the graveyard, next we have the graveyard in the 4th dimension. What? What does name and artwork like that have to do with level monsters at all? Y'all are really dropping the ball on this artwork and mechanic correlation with their support. And I thought the Banished Zone was considered another dimension. It's a normal spell and its effect is, add 2 level monsters from your graveyard to your deck and shuffle it. Oh my god, that is so bad. So bad. First off, it, as expected, doesn't correlate with the name at all. Like, why is this shitty recovery effect involving alternate dimensions for? I get that it's meant to be used to recycle your higher level monsters, but this isn't giving you any advantage at all. Not even one measly draw. It's like Pot of Generosity for a shitty mechanic, and at least that card has the meme factor. Yeah, once again meme factor puts a terrible card over a terrible mechanic. Notoriety be notoriety, folks, even if it's ironic. Last is level down. Oh my god, what the hell? Sorry, I just assumed I had to freak out about it based on that punctuation in the name. Its artwork depicts what would happen if you used level up on Armed Dragon level 7 in hopes of accessing its level 10 form. It's a quick play spell and its effect is select 1 face-up level monster on the field to activate this card. Return the selected card to its owner's deck and special summon 1 monster from the owner's graveyard to their side of the field with the same name but lower level, ignoring the summoning conditions. So the point of this card is to dodge effects, hence why it's a quick play, and you can actually go back down to the lowest monster in the line if you so choose. Or you could just use Interdimensional Matter Transporter, which came out 3 years prior, and lets you keep the monster you probably worked your ass off to bring out. Also, I love how the ignoring the summoning conditions is in parentheses, like they added it as an afterthought because they remembered Mystic Swordsman was the thing. This has been episode 5 of Vex Views Decks. Until next time, remember, every RPG is easy if you do enough level grinding.